The end of the world is upon us. Skies and the stars are falling out into the fields of Russia. Blackburn have beaten Arsenal at the Emirates in the FA Cup, and maybe the world might not end. And if it doesn't, I guess there's another week of the Premier League to watch. Fulham host Stoke in our first match this weekend. Fulham having a very so-so season, but Stoke on the other hand, mid-table, but they only seem to play well at the Britannia. They have only won one match away from home this season, and Craven Cottage is a tough place to play. I think it'll be too much, and we might see Berbatov get back on the score sheet. Not too sure. Fulham to win 2-1. Next up sees Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Arsenal they're in pretty poor form at the moment. Dumped out of the FA Cup by Blackburn, who had a miraculous goal from Colin Kazim-Richards, but Arsenal had something like 17 shots on target and still couldn't score. And then they were beaten 3-1 at home in the first leg of the Champions League tie this week by Bayern Munich, which is a devastating loss for them. It could be another trophyless season for Arsene Wenger, which it's really looking like Arsenal are just struggling to keep to the pace of their sort of northern neighbours in Chelsea across town. Villa on the other hand, it's going to be a huge ask for them to go to the Emirates and get a win. I think Arsenal will bounce back, they'll return to some form and win 3-1. Then Norwich host Everton later that evening. Everton still playing quite well, really competing at the moment. They had a 2-2 draw last week in the FA Cup against Oldham, which will see them return to Goodison Park for a replay. And they should go to Norwich and they should win 1-0. QPR host league leaders Man United later that Saturday night, and United have opened up a 12-point lead at the top of the table ahead of Manchester City. People are suggesting that this may even be one of the greatest ever United sides. You watch them play, alright, they don't flow as well as some of the classic sides, but after 26 games, no United side has won more league points than this side. The only league team to have ever done better is the 87 Liverpool side under Kenny Dalglish, which had 1 point more. They were about 77, 78 points by this stage of the league. So United really, really blazing ahead of Man City. And they should go to Loftus Road and probably win 3-1. They'll keep their title charge going. Then we see Reading play Wigan at the Majeski. An interesting game. Wigan had a big win in the FA Cup. They won 4-0 last weekend. However, they are second last in the table. They are really, really struggling. That looks a lot worse than they've actually been playing. However, I think they'll probably go to Reading and probably get a point. Next up we see West Brom play Sunderland. West Brom still contending in the top half of the table, playing reasonably well. Sunderland on the other hand have not done a great deal to impress this season, still out of the drop zone, but only just. That'll probably be 2-0 to West Brom. Now, match of the weekend sees Man City hosting Chelsea. City bounced back from their recent league troubles with a 4-0 win over Leeds in the FA Cup, which their players are hoping to reignite the season. Manager Roberto Mancini has claimed he is the best manager in England over the last 15 months, mind you. But a big claim from a so-so guy who's not really done that great a job. They've got Yaya Touré back, who bossed it against Leeds, who was really, really big through the middle. They come up against Chelsea, who had a big win in the FA Cup as well, 4-0. Frank Lampard scored. He is just 3 goals shy, of Bobby Tamble's 40-year-old club record for the top goal scorer, and yet Chelsea will not offer him a new contract, which is irked club captain John Terry. He is really, really adamant and asked Roman Abramovich of all people to please sign old Frank. And superstar Juan Mata is also paid creditor in the week to how good Frank Lampard is and how well he's playing at the moment. He did this last season as well, was on the outer at the start, now he's back in the fold and he's so key to Chelsea. He's just super inspirational for them. I think Chelsea will probably do just enough to get a draw at Man City, and that'll be 2-2, which will further hamper City's bid to regain their title. Then we see, this is early Monday morning, Sunday night, Newcastle hosts Southampton. Newcastle have dropped to 16th place on the table. New signing Johan Gulfran played really well against Spurs, scored a goal and then was carried off injured. They need him back. They have won just twice since Christmas. That was hopefully their kind of injection, then sort of burst of interest almost into the squad, which looked really good for about half an hour and then sort of fell to pieces against Spurs when they lost back then. Hopefully they'll do enough against Southampton for their sake, and that'll probably be a 1-0 win. West Ham host Tottenham in our last match of this round, a big London derby, a long-standing rivalry there. Both sides don't particularly like each other too much. Spurs are 4 points ahead of Arsenal in 4th place, just 1 point shy of the 3rd place Chelsea, who they will look to try and leapfrog if they can beat West Ham and perhaps Chelsea get done by Man City. They are playing quite well at the moment, but it is just all revolving around Gareth Bale. They need Gareth Bale to stay fit and stay in form. He scored 2 goals the other week, both cracking free kicks, and he's just in superb form. That being said, West Ham have really made Upton Park into a bit of a fortress. Away from home, a bit like Stoke, they're not terribly flash, but at home, I think they'll do just enough against their big rivals, and it'll probably be 1-1. And so that's us for another week, and we will probably catch you next week, unless we see you again.